Hey everybody. I thought it might be fun now that I have IE to show you guys the race for 8 peaks for Skarsnik, especially since I brand everything Goblin. So we start off at Carrick Gunbad, and then we need to find our way to 8 peaks. So starting off, we have a really easy battle going up against some goblins and orcs. I have sped up a lot of the footage just so this video isn't 10 hours long. Actually, it was only an hour and a half, but it seems a bit excessive. So I've edited out a couple things like the loading screens. I'll show you one at the end in its normal speed just so you get a good comparison for that. Now here, we outmatch them massively, so we go for the surround and smash! It isn't too difficult, but, you know, we do our best. We need to make sure we don't take too much damage because I am going to rush for 8 peaks rather... Not as fast as I could, but decently fast. So we'll get to 8 peaks before turn 20, and we'll own it before turn 20. Now, we just go and use our fanatics. Our army composition has changed. Skarsnik used to have only 2 fanatics, and now we have 2 night goblins added on, but otherwise it's the same army composition. I much prefer this one because who doesn't want more fanatics? Who doesn't want more night goblins? Overall, everything feels fluid. I'm not having any strange issues so far. In general, I haven't encountered any. But I'm not sure how much I can say about a lot of different things, so we'll muddle our way through. So we win, all's good, we go and get some replenishment, and then we go for the second army in the settlement. Now this fight is a bit more rough just because settlement battles are a bit more rough. As you can see, I forgot to put Sly in the army. We've added him, and we've given one of our fanatics a fungus flask. Gives poison damage. It's just a nice little buff. So for this, I thought I would go for a bit of a surround and a bit of a sneaky cap. So our invisible boys are separated from the rest of the group. Again, this is sped up footage just because battles take a while. I don't know. Let me know if you think I should show these battles slowed down in normal speed. Let me know if you even enjoy this type of content. Sorry, this is a bit new for the channel. But I want to share my enjoyment and excitement with you guys. And I'm sure you all want to see the different changes that have happened. But you might not want to watch every single battle that takes 10, 15 minutes. Which isn't bad. I very much enjoy playing them that speed and sharing on live streams. But since this is a pre-recorded video and I can edit them down and speed them up, it makes sense to. And it also will make my life a little bit easier with the voiceovers, because this is not me talking while playing. This is after the fact. So we're going slowly for those caps. We've gone and captured 2 of them already. We're about to take our 3rd and 4th, I believe. Skarsnik is handling things well. Ragnarok Spider is obviously absolutely wonderful still. I have noticed overall that missiles in general feel a little bit weaker. And the placement for... We don't have them in this battle yet, but we'll get to it afterwards. The stink bombs for the sneaky stabbers, the placement of them, you'll see soon enough, is a bit interesting. But yeah, so we're going and capturing this, and then we'll get ready for our capture. But I feel comfortable with the gobbos. They can handle themselves. This isn't a campaign that I think was changed drastically, but him being closer makes it much easier to go and get 8 peaks sooner. And you're not dealing with 4 or 5 full stacks from Belagar, which, you know, is very nice because that is pretty rough in the beginning of a campaign. But yeah, so we won. Like I said, editing out those load screens because they do take a second, but not more than the load screens in Warhammer 3 were taking beforehand. End turns also seem pretty decent to me, figuring out what I want. I don't think his skill tree was changed very much. I did go and have a quick look over it. Overall, I'd say it's pretty much the same. Now, there is that weird business of Lightning Strike. We have it, so it makes no sense getting the points there, in my opinion. Unless you want to slow down reinforcements, but you've got legit Lightning Strike with Skarsnik, so getting other things later on would make more sense. Figuring out what I want over here, a little bit of growth, a little bit of money. I do want to recruit, so I don't break down the barracks. And as you can see, the end turns do take a second. But I don't think they're much worse than they were in Warhammer 2 or in Warhammer 3. They feel pretty okay, and they should get faster the less factions are around. Now, I'm taking the second settlement belonging to our province, but you don't have to. You could go and skip this, but it feels like a good plan. I did another campaign of this really late at night when I had the idea to go and do it, where I headed straight for Carrick 8 Peaks with Skarsnik's army. If you do that, you can get there on turn 7 or 8, depending on when you start ambushing, getting close to it. However, I don't feel like that's the best way to go about it, so I'm taking a longer time and a more relaxed path to 8 Peaks this time. We're going for some capping spread out over the whole map, just so we can go and cap those points, make sure we're not getting shot to death the whole time. Having a bunch of stalking units really does help with that, just because the AI doesn't notice them as much. I have noticed, however, that the AI does seem to respond to points being taken better now. I don't know if this is an actual change or they just happen to set up that way in my different battles. So after I've capped a point, oftentimes a unit will go and take it again, which is really good to see, but I'm just not 100% if that's the AI registering that it needs to go and recap those points, or if it just happened to be that they were sending units in that way based on their AI. But yeah, going and capturing the points, everything's going well. We can win these fights in outright fights, which we semi-do, but overall, getting the points is a good way to save some damage on your units. And there we saw our first stink bomb, but it wasn't showing you the part where it appears in the wrong area. Yeah. It's all points capped. We've got the win, and we will continue taking over the world. I'm really not certain about this whole Let's Play side of stuff. I want to give it a shot, though. I want to see if you guys like it, and practice makes perfect. So this video is going to have quite a few kinks, and if you do enjoy them, I think they'll get better over time. But let me know. Let me know. I don't know. But that makes this the perfect time to go and do that whole call to action thing. If you're enjoying the video, like, subscribe, turn on the little bell notification. I know it's not the funnest thing to hear, but thank you. It's good to go and put in there. So we've taken our full province. We've gone and put our edict on. We want more growth, and I'm going to continue heading on. But I do want a full stack of units, just because I'm not going to cheese this massively. Like, a little bit, there's going to be cheese. But in general, it is fights, and it feels thematic the way I'm going about it, at least to me. And we're going to start heading towards 8 Peaks now. There is a little sneaky surprise. I do think we might make a little bit of a stop at Black Crag. you know, it's pretty tasty. Can't help but want more of that gold. But yeah. So I've recruited a second lord because there are still more of the Bloody Spear around, and I know rebellions are a bit of an issue. So I've recruited a second lord to prepare to take over them with him. You make plans, you change your plans. Tech tree seems overall about the same. No massive differences that I could see. Like, there might be minor changes because I don't remember everything by heart. But overall, it's pretty much the same. And turns again, like I said, not too bad. They take a second, but they've always taken a second. And the Skaven own Black Crag, which is okay. You can get agreements with them. They'll give you about 1.5k early on for non-aggression and military access. It's not too bad. So if you don't want to rush for them, or you don't want Black Crag, just get those agreements. You can always break them 10 turns later on without taking penalties. And a little extra money never hurts. So I'm not going for a straight away because I wasn't sure if I wanted to or not. I start heading towards Black Crag, and soon you will see me be a true goblin. Because you will see, we will see, you will see. Our other lord we've slowly brought over with his army, and we are going to go and take the first part of the Silver Peaks. I think if I continue this campaign, I am going to start pushing for taking out Karazakarak, just because that would be good. I like diamonds too. Diamonds, gold. Who wouldn't want them? Very tasty. So we've got another battle. Again, I haven't noticed anything that bothers me about the battles. Units seem responsive. There is one actual, sorry, I did misspeak. There is one thing I do have a bit of an issue. Units spread out really far. You can have half a unit on one side of the map and the other half of the unit on the other side of the map. And that can be a bit problematic, especially with invisible guys. So here, we traded out our lord from a shaman to a goblin war boss, I believe that's what they're called. Or is it sneaky something? Well, the whole army has stocks, so we can go and slowly go around, get some nice surrounds on our enemy, and cap without them knowing exactly where we are. We are the best. But yeah, so we're going for points and domination, so we are going and trying to go and cause them some real pain, but also capping the points because we'll just take more damage if we don't go for the cap points. We can win straight up in a domination fight. That's not what you call it in a straight up battle. But to save us some pain, it's better to also just cap the points. And Skarsnik is a sneaky boy. This is thematic. So go and cap those points. Surround your enemies without them knowing. Ambush them. And stab them to death. That's what it's all about, guys. But yeah, settlement battles do take a little bit. They're still sped up. But it's really good. It's really good. I messed up a little bit in the sense that some of the units went and fought too many by themselves while we were spread out too much. But having all your units packed in one area can also lead to other detriments, so I do prefer this style of fighting for the sneaky stabs. We took our settlement. We are not at war with the dwarves over there, so I'm just going to be sitting there for a second because, well, I don't want to start that war when I'm already in this one, and soon enough I'll be at war with the Skaven. But here comes the true goblin thing. I believe it's the centering. Yes, it is. I see this fight. I consider it. There is a possibility that we'd win. But you know what? Fuck that. We're gonna run. We're gonna run. I was a coward and I know it. I know it. But this is the reason I turn around and take out my cowardice on an even bigger coward, the rats. So I go and check around, see if we can get any money for joining the war. You can. There are some goblins, I believe. Yeah, some goblins. who will give you some money to go and join the war against them. It's not too bad of a fight unless there's a full stack in there, but like this, we can easily go in, spread out nicely, have our visible boys play a little bit of bait. Our invisible boys go over to the tunnel. That's super easy to go up, but I have noticed that Skaven do set up units there now. Always pretty much, just because I think this is the way all players, or most players, go to take this settlement. Which is good to see, which means it's counteracting the weakness of this area, making it into a trap, which I find a very Skaven-like thing to do. Oh, you see this safe tunnel? Oh, you think this is the right way to go up to the capture point? Well, do you know what? It's an ambush. We've already set everyone up here. But yeah, I will always fall for this ambush because going up that tunnel is just the safest way for not being shot to death by all the towers inside the settlement. So I don't see myself giving it up. We got our little fanatics going with their spinny winnies, their loon balls, their, I forgot what they're called, but you know, great unit, the fanatics. I would like a little bit more range in the army, it's just I haven't had time to sit down and recruit anything. And I'm pretty happy with the sneaky stabbers. So in we go, and you can start seeing the issues of units being spread out rather far. This is again still sped up. I feel like maybe I should have left this a little bit. This small encounter right here, a little slowed down. You also saw a second ago the stink bomb go off, and it went off at the end of the unit, which is really problematic because I'm not sure if the animation is in the wrong place, if it really hits the unit. It should, but sometimes it doesn't if the unit is spread out too far, which, you know, not great. I start sending people up to go and cap the point. Turns out that was unnecessary because I do believe we win this fight, if I remember correctly, by just killing enough of them. So we are in a fine place to just wipe them out. But I do have a thing for wanting a safety net of being able to go and cap the points. I think it would be a good idea for them to only have one main capture point. That's an opinion I think a couple people have, but I also think there are people who like the 2 capture point. If you like the 2 capture points, the main 2 capture points, let me know why, because I don't really get it. Since it's harder to defend those 2 points, which might be why, but at the same time, sometimes you just don't have the troops to defend it. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. I would prefer it if it was just 1. It would make it easier for the AI to defend just 1, because then they could be programmed to this point, if ever taken, you know, they need to get there and take care of it. But with 2, it could be a bit harder for the AI to understand, and also for the player. I don't know. I think I just prefer 1 capture point. For the victory points, that is. Sometimes I'm not that exact, but you know. So we've captured the point, and we are getting a good lead in our victory points. It might turn out I was wrong, and we actually don't... No, we did win without it. I thought so. I was starting to worry. I'm like, whoa, we're getting real close to the end. I'm pretty certain I captured it. I won by actually winning and not just the victory points. I do like using the victory points as a backup plan, but yeah. So, that's Black Crag. 1 step closer to 8 peaks, even if we took a step back because of my cowardice. On this side, realizing it's kind of dangerous for me to go and leave Black Crag now, I'm going to send down our secondary army to go and protect it and keep an eye on it, and maybe go and try to collect some of the other provinces, settlements in this area. However, right in the beginning, I want to get him over to Black Crag straight away because the mutinous gits are around and it's dangerous leaving it undefended, and I would like to keep Black Crag. I am considering continuing this campaign in a stream at some point, or maybe if you guys like this, we could continue it in this kind of Let's Play voiceover sped up version, just so everything is bim bam boom done. I recruited a lord down there just so I'd have a little extra protection, a shaman because magic is always good, just in case someone attacks. I'm ready in ambush, about to go and take. You'd think I'd go after 8 Peaks, but we're going to end up going for Valea Sorrow. I'm not completely sure why I decided to go after Valea Sorrow. I think it's because I didn't want to deal with the army that was also inside of 8 Peaks, and I thought this might lure them out a bit. So we've got another settlement battle. These can really be rough, but we're spreading out, going and planning for those capture points. This map I really enjoy. I think it's a good map overall because there's a lot of space between everything. So if you're playing a cavalry heavy army or something, this can work really nice. It's really bad for anyone who's slow, obviously, but if you're playing dwarves or something, you go and find your defensive position, set up, and shoot them to death with either towers or whatever. If you're attacking as the dwarves, you have good range, so you know you can shoot them from afar, but settlement battles for slower factions are pretty painful because you do need to just endure the pain a lot of the time. You need to take it. But dwarves are all of them. Dwarves are strong. They can handle it. So is Nurgle, so I think it's pretty okay. I would like some more field battles, let's be real here. It is a lot of settlement battles that we do. We don't get many field battles, which is a shame because the field battles are absolutely stunning. I hope you get to see some of the maps, or that you've already seen some of the maps, because they are very pretty. But we're going around capturing points, taking engagements that are good for us, or that we need to go and shut down because being shot at is, even as goblins, not fun. We've got a high miss chance, so not many things are going to hit us, but it's still painful. We got our victory, we take Valea Sorrow, and on the other side, I'm sending down my army to go and reinforce because the mutinous gits are trying to steal my property. That's mine! They can't have it. We're also not at war with Karak Azul. That's not what they're called. It's something Azul. The Azul dwarves. But they're wandering about. They're at war with the Eagle Goblins. I wish I remembered their names. I'm not great at all the faction names. But it has given us an empty 8 Peaks. And what does an empty 8 Peaks mean? Those mutinous gits are getting kicked out. It is not empty, it's next turn. My mistake. I did film this yesterday, and today I'm cutting it all up, and I hope it's interesting. But yeah, we are gonna have some clear, strong dwarf wars coming up after this, after we've taken 8 Peaks, if we can take 8 Peaks. But yeah, I go and check this battle, I realize it's pretty rough, so I go for this fight so I can maybe send Skarsnik in later. There is a bit of a surprise that I was not expecting once we've done this fight. So wait till the end. We're still speeding up the beginning because it does take me a second to get everything set up to actually engage. We will engage. I am not just going for an invisible cap. Sort of. But yeah, so we've got our stalkers in the back and our visible boys in the front getting ready to attack. But first we want to set up our ambush. So our stalker boys are in the back, slowly sneaking into the keep. The Karak shall fall and it will be, you know, back in its rightful hands. This belongs to Skarsnik. I think this is the true way. I might do a Dawi one as well at some point, and then the tune is obviously going to change. But whoever we are playing is the person we are backing. We're not traitorous skits. Those mutinous... I'm almost going to say bad words. Well, they don't get a say in here. So I'm slowly setting up, getting my way up to close to the capture point, and also just behind all of the enemy, because there is a lot of it in here. You need to deal with a lot. If I was going to go for a full frontal normal attack, I would be bringing more force than I currently have, being completely real. But if you go for Skarsnik's sneak and stab, which is, you know, perfectly in line with how he plays, in my opinion, then you could do something like that. You could definitely go for a frontal attack. But playing Skarsnik authentically and in a fun way, to me, is going and setting up an ambush from behind. And yeah, we're getting ready for the attack. We've made Skarsnik and all the units invisible as we head up to the walls, just so we don't get shot to shit. And we are, as soon as we become visible, which is now, because you saw our skinks take, not skinks, our squigs taking damage, we are going to go and draw the aggression towards us, which means a lot of those units are going to come our way, which will give us a cleaner attack from behind. If we can hold the high ground and the capture points, this should be a pretty manageable fight for most people, in my opinion. It's not super, you need to perfectly sneak in, because even when there is no army in this settlement, there are so many units that they usually do have a couple right by the capture points. If you have stalk or snipe, you can maybe take them out without drawing new units this way. But as you can see, us already pushing in, a bunch of the units are coming back. But we have enough here that we can smack them hard. And the frontal assault is keeping them distracted as well. So we've got them split up and vulnerable. We are going and smashing the way we should. We is gobbles! Over here, I do think a little bit ago we did see something that I wanted to point out. Maybe it will happen again. I do think it will. Yeah. No, it didn't. That wasn't it. So I just need to keep an eye on when we next use a stink bomb. That's not what they're called. It's just what I call them. It slows them down and makes them weaker. They're like, yo, do I want to run into that smell? No, I do not. No, I do not. And we're drawing back from the frontal assault because it is no longer that necessary. Also, Skarsnik has taken a lot of pain because I wasn't paying that much attention to him, because it was a diversion attack. So they're retreating to a safe zone while our sneaky stabbers and fanatics and night goblins are going for the true take. We have captured the points. We're about to capture the main victory points, which is 5 points. The minor one is 3 points. So same as Warhammer 3, obviously, because this is Warhammer 3, even if it is IE. But we've got our area. We're slowly taking down their arachnoid spider. They have a decent force in this settlement. Being real, it is going to be a rough fight if you go for a less thematic. I'm not going to say less cheesy because I don't consider this cheesy. I consider this thematic. You can disagree with me, fair enough. But we are legit fighting them. We're taking out the Ragnarok Spider. We are taking out their Lord. We are fighting for this win. We are taking care of these mutinous gits. Get ill of my castle! And slowly we're gaining points. Because throughout this whole fight, we might be able to. I do think we could win in a fair fight. With the towers and everything, it would be very, very rough. And I'd need to focus a lot more than I am at all times capable of. Sometimes I'll be capable of focusing enough to go and win it in a straight fight. So I do think it's doable. Just, I'd say 80% of the time, I won't be able to keep my focus on the fight to actually win it. Whereas this is more thematic in my opinion, which I enjoy. Sounds like an excuse, but it's only half an excuse. And it is more reliable in my opinion. As you can see, we're slowly getting overrun in this area, so the points win is what we're aiming for. We are holding them back at that choke point. That is a really nice choke point for the main victory point, which gives us 5 points. And the other side is just keeping everyone distracted. But I do believe their spider is dead or has retreated, but I think we killed it. But like I said, there's a lot going on, and I'm trying to keep track of most of it, even if it looks like I'm not. Our spiders come up to give us some support because it's fast enough and strong enough. Whereas Skarsnik couldn't make it up here. Also, he's almost dead. Sly, I could have sent Sly up here. Maybe I should have sent Sly up, but I didn't. And there we go. Victory is ours. Now, something interesting is about to happen, something I really enjoy. We've won. And then we are offered a confederation with the mutinous Gits, which I think is a good thing. I think that was a real good change. I know that the dwarves have a similar situation going on with something else. I accept it. And this is where we end it. Is turn 13. We own Black Rat. We own Carrick 8 Peaks. This was all done on Legendary. I will show you in a second. You saw in the beginning, maybe. I'm not sure if I showed it off in the beginning anymore. But it was all done Legendary. Unfortunately, you didn't see my mouse throughout this whole thing because when I was recording, I didn't realize I had it set that you couldn't see my mouse. But now you know. I only told you now because you watched the whole video. So, next up, watch a loading screen. Thank you. Bye-bye. Like, subscribe. Have a great time. Check out more of my content. Bye-bye.